All right, bet. Let's get started. What's going on? Welcome to the.Ugly Truth Podcast, where I speak with some amazing people that have done some amazing things. But as you know, everything that glitters is not always so gold. There's always a little ugly under the beauty. Listen, the.Ugly Truth Podcast is sponsored by none other than The Ugly Brand. Go ahead and get your gear at www.theuglybrand.com. That's theuglybrand.com. Y'all, I have an amazing guest here. Y'all know I'm from the DMV. We have some cool people in the DMV. Like, hands down, we got some cool people in the DMV.
Yeah, you got some cool people in the DMV.
Are you from the DMV?
I am. I'm from Maryland.
What part?
Gaithersburg, Maryland. But I live in Frederick now, so I rep
That's where
Frederick.
rich people live at.
You know what? Maybe they're there. Maybe rich people are everywhere.
Y'all follow my rich friend. What's your Instagram name?
CHEF Natasha B on the gram. CHEF Natasha.
Y'all follow my rich friend, CHEF Natasha B on the gram. Look, y'all, man. Welcome my guest, CHEF Natasha. What is going on, sis?
Hey, a lot is going on. A lot of good things is going on.
A lot of good things going on. So I'm going to go through your story, okay? Because I don't know a lot about it, y'all. Let me tell y'all, I be sliding people's DMs. I don't have no problem sliding in a DM.
And you shouldn't. That's what you should do. If you're hungry for whatever it is that you want, you did the right thing.
Natasha came flying out the gate on y'all. I hope y'all caught that, okay? It goes down in the DM.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Just telling you what I know. I'm just telling you what I know.
Yes.
All right, cool. So, okay. Born and raised in the DMV area. You were born and raised in Gaithersburg. I was about to say Gambrills, and I was like, yo, I know that's not it. Gaithersburg. Okay. So, did you ever think, or did you always want to be a chef?
No, I didn't. I always liked cooking. I enjoyed it, cooking and eating. But if you would have said, "Hey, as a kid, picture yourself here now," I wouldn't have pictured it
At all. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
A nurse. Yeah, my mom, she broke her ankle. And the funny thing is, it's like my mom broke her ankle and I'm in elementary school and I'm like, oh, I'm going to cook for you. And I made her some oodles and noodles and that was probably like the first thing that I ever cooked. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I wanted to take care of her because she broke her ankle. So I was like, oh, I want to be a nurse because I want to take care of you. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it was like I kind of did both. Like I cooked and I was taking care of her, but I didn't even think about the cooking part.
Right. Because I don't think though that in our culture those types of occupations are encouraged. Like a nurse, that's encouraged. Yeah. A doctor, that's encouraged. Police officer, those are so general. Like rarely do you it might be different now in our culture because entrepreneurship is like taking over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But in our times, it's like you need to know how to cook so that you can get a man. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like you need to know how to cook so that you can get a man, not so you can make a bag.
Yeah, true. It was just what was available to us,
right?
You know,
right.
So we didn't have heavy social media,
right? Right.
Now, so
yeah,
the game is just different.
Yeah, we weren't exposed to all that. We weren't privy to that. Okay, cool. So you wanted to be a nurse. You go through middle school, high school, college?
I did college.
You finished?
No, I did nursing school.
Oh, so you saw this thing through.
You know what? I saw it through until God closed the door.
Oh.
And he slammed it in my face.
Wait, how did that happen? What did the Lord say to you?
Okay, so let me tell you. I had already started selling plates, but in my head it's like, I have children and I'm divorced now. I need to go to school and become a nurse because I need guaranteed money.
Right.
I am making money now selling plates, but it's like, hey, I need guaranteed money. So I started nursing school in the fall, probably like 2 months in. It's COVID. We're in a nursing home. This is very recent. Okay,
come on. Let me ask you.
I just now blew up.
I want to hear how the Lord slammed the door in your face.
So I was in nursing school and I was like, you know what? I don't think I like this. They weren't really nice. I'm feeding people and people are happy. They're loving it. And I'm in the nursing home trying to learn from the nurse, and she has an attitude. And this is just not even, why am I here? Because why are you here? You're supposed to teach me. It was just terrible. And I talked to my family and them about wanting to leave nursing school. And they were like, no, don't do it. Because you work too hard.
Right.
This is guaranteed money. Get the degree.
Were you almost finished?
No, this is first semester.
Okay.
So second semester, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be here. But if I walk away, everyone is going to be like, you walked away and you shouldn't have walked away.
Everyone's going to be right.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I love cooking and I would love to give cooking 110% of my time. But let me just try to finish nursing school. The second day of clinicals. No, it's like the first real day of clinicals. I make a mistake in at the hospital.
You killed somebody?
I did not. And the thing is like I was too good. So, background. I was already a CNA and a medication aide. So I'd already given medicine and worked with patients and everything. Worked in the hospital. That was my hospital. That was my floor. So in training, when first day of clinicals, when the nurse gave me my medicine, she was like, hey, this is the medicine that you're going to be giving out to your client or your patient. I did everything right, except when I gave her the medicine, the nurse wasn't in the room. So they kicked me out and told me that I could never come back. And that day that I got kicked out, I think I got kicked out at like 9 a.m. in the morning. I went home and I packed my SUV and I drove to Tennessee and I cooked for Valentine's Day weekend in Tennessee. So that kind of like me getting kicked out of nursing school launched me really being a traveling chef, because that was my first time going somewhere really far.
So wait a minute.
For days.
Wait a minute. You were in nursing school. You did everything right, technically. The person didn't die. You were fine. She didn't die. But it sounds like it was more so of a control thing.
Very much.
You were supposed to be...
And I didn't.
Okay, you didn't follow. You broke the rules. You are a rule breaker.
Rebel.
Okay. When your birthday?
April 2nd.
Y'all normally not like that. What, Aries?
I'm Aries.
My dad's birthday is April 4th.
Okay, is your dad like... So he's a fire?
He's a rebel.
Fire?
No, he was a rebel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was. Okay, so... You broke the rules, and then you was like, okay, girl, well, let me go ahead and pack up this truck because I got to go and cook a dinner for Valentine's Day in Tennessee. So Tennessee from Maryland is probably about a 10-hour drive, yes?
Yes.
You drove that by yourself?
No, I had someone with me.
Okay, good.
Drove me. Yeah.
So you go and you make this meal. Can I ask you, did you make financially more in making that meal than what you would have made in a day being a nurse?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I did.
Did you double it?
I don't know what their maybe I had their paycheck in that weekend.
You made a nurse's paycheck.
Yeah.
In a weekend cooking.
I would have to, let me see.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, okay. We're talking thousands.
Yeah. Okay. So at that point, you're like, you know what? This nursing thing is a wrap.
I didn't know yet.
You didn't know yet. Okay, so
they sent me home, and I already had Tennessee booked. So they sent me home, and they're like, we'll call you on Monday. So I do the weekend in Tennessee. I'm back on Monday. I have to log on to the Zoom, and they have to tell me, didn't we tell you, wasn't it written somewhere that you're not nursing is following directions. It doesn't matter what you know you're supposed to do. It's you follow directions. Thank you.
So did you get kicked out after that, after the Zoom? Or did you quit?
After the Zoom, they were like, we're gonna deliberate. We're gonna ask some other people, and they came to me a week later, and they were like, yeah, or a couple days later, by like that Wednesday, they were like, hey, we deliberated, we had a meeting, and we're gonna let you go. And the crazy thing was, it was like I was so busy at the moment that they let me go that I never even had time to go back. I think she wanted me to sign some papers. Never even had time to do any of that. Never even logged back into the school. That's how busy I got from that moment.
And it has not changed.
It has not changed. It has not changed. It has not changed. By the grace of God.
You went from being a nurse or in school for being a nurse to these people had your fate in their hands, right? Like they dangled you on a string.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, okay, girl, you need to go home. So that leaves you the rest of that day, Saturday, Sunday. We meet with you on Monday, and then we're going to give you 3 more days to sit on this pot and determine how we feel about you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't even had the audacity to go back and sign the papers of them firing you.
Please. And you know what? I say that it's really like, when I say it was like God shutting that door, because I knew in the first semester that like, yo, these people, this is not it. This isn't happiness.
Right.
This is not happiness. You know, I'm walking in the morning like, hey, and my instructor is looking at me. I promise you, she looked me up and down. Like, and she said nothing. I was like, okay, you know, I'm happy. Yeah. And then you got to know what type of people you're dealing with. I was like, whatever, you know, I don't mind. I'm like, I have great grades. I'm on time, blah, 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 blah. Talk to me. I know what I'm talking about. And it was funny because when she was telling me to come out of the room, my patient's like in her bed and she's like, but nurse, she was amazing.
Oh, she was blown.
She was so blown. I was like, I'm in trouble. They're like, yeah. My patient was like, nurse, can I say something? She was amazing. I mean, bomb patient care. Bomb patient care. Just too advanced. I was not allowed. I didn't have the authority to give the medicine.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because they went through what it seems like is they went through a strong level of effort to embarrass you.
You know, the lady who kicked me out, I heard about a month or 2 later, they fired her. And it's like, this is a nursing, we're in a nursing shortage. We're in a pandemic. Like, really?
Right.
I don't know, second chance I get kicked out like the first day?
Right.
God. But look at everything else, because if I would have stayed at that school, where would cooking have taken me?
Would you have even done it? Would you have even had the time to do it? Because during the pandemic, nurses were working, I feel like, 24-hour shifts.
Yeah, that pandemic was crazy. Yeah, and I worked in the hospital during that. So it was just like, it's no way. There's no way.
There were nurses that weren't even able to go home. You know what I'm saying? During the pandemic.
Yes.
All right, so God said everything was so nice. I'm going to need you to come over here now.
Yes.
And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, did you feel that because of the impact that you felt? Because you noticed that people were happy when you cook for them.
Yes.
So is that the most fulfilling part of what you do?
Oh my gosh. It's like instant gratification. You work so hard. You shop for them. There's so many meetings before you actually meet them face to face. And then you're in the kitchen and, you know, they've booked you in a different state. They've never even tried your food. So it's so much anticipation. And then when they take that first bite and they're thanking God, like, man, like they're when they take that first bite and they're crying.
That's happened?
Yes. I've had several people cry.
Your food make people cry?
They cry. And I'm like, why are you crying? They're like, I don't know. It reminds me of Thanksgiving as a kid. Or, you know, because food is part of one of your senses. So when you smell something or you taste something, it brings back some memory or it's just so good. Or maybe it's a little alcohol induced, but they cry.
Yeah.
Happy tears.
Food is emotional. Food is emotional. And I don't, it's a real thing, right? Because I'm an entrepreneur. I watch trash TV though. Okay. I love trash TV. Keeps me balanced because I have so much to do in the businesses that I run. So I just sometimes want to like keep it down to earth for me.
Define trash TV for me.
What's it 600 Pound Life is what I'm talking about. Like, I watch trash TV. Like, I mean, like, I'm talking about
always booed up.
Yeah. And I be, you know, I wonder, you know, but God said that there's somebody for everybody, I think, is what he said, or is that what the world says? But
Somebody say
what I was saying is food is emotional, and so it can be good, it can be bad, right? You get so emotional that you become super dependent on it, and you allow it to control you. Mm-hmm. But there is a tie, like you were saying, to there's an emotional tie to food.
Yes.
Henceforth, probably why I don't have a 6-pack now. Because I have an emotional tie to food, and I love it.
That's what it is.
I love it. Like, I'm not gonna just. You're not gonna tell me I can't have a steak.
It's comforting.
It's comforting. It is comforting, especially when it gets cold outside. Certain things you're like, yeah, I'm about to start throwing down on these. All right, anyway, cool. So, okay, now you've made a decision. This is what I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. Okay, told your family?
My family. I had to tell them immediately. I cannot hold water. I can hold it a little bit, but not really. I was like, yo, they kicked me out.
Duly noted. Don't tell the cook about the surprise.
Yeah, well, those I can. That I can. I deal with a lot of surprises and stuff like that. But if it's related to me, I mean, my family knew right away, and I told them to pray. And the prayer was basically, God, if this door closes and I'm supposed to be cooking, then you need to make it financially possible for me to do this. If this is what you want me to do, hey, I love traveling. I love cooking. I most definitely love meeting people and everything kind of associated with being a traveling chef. But you're going to have to open up that financial door for me because I do have 3 children.
And so you believe off rip, did you, in your mind, was it like, you know what? Okay, God, this is what you had me doing. I already believe that you're going to make this work.
I wasn't there yet.
That's okay.
I wasn't there because you got to think my first year, I brought in money, but you're still trying to, my first couple months, you're still trying to figure it out. What do I sell my food for? What do I price this for? At the time, I didn't have anyone that I could be like, hey, what are you selling steak for? What are you selling lobster for? What are you selling king crab for? I just had to kind of figure it out. Like, oh, I sold it for this much, but you know what? After you put in supplies and trays and everything like that, you kind of broke even. Or after, you get to another level where it's like, yo, I made money. And now you're at a level where it's like, okay, I need to hire help. So you hire help and it's like, okay, well, I paid the help. Now I need to kind of increase some prices again so that I can pay them, buy supplies, and make money. So it was a learning thing. So no, I talked to God honestly, like, yo, if this is, you're going to have to show me where the money is. You're going to have to show me where the money is. No, I went to him honest, not confident. My confidence was probably shattered. I just got kicked out of nursing school. I'm not on a high horse. Yeah, I did Tennessee.
Right.
But yeah, right. I'm like, God.
Okay, that was cute. You
had to hit me like that.
Right.
You didn't have to do me like that.
Right. Like, God, you could have took that one slow.
You could have took it slow.
It'd be so funny. It'd be so funny. We'd be having so much conversation for God, like what he could have did.
Right, come on now.
And he's like, well, if you just would have listened to me in the first place, we wouldn't have been in this situation. But okay. And we're not even going to talk about what you should have did.
But I knew when I got kicked out, I knew that this was going to be a part of my story. And I knew that at that moment, like, not I'm going to show you, but like, okay, you guys slammed this door in my face like I was nobody. Just wait. This is a part of my story and I am somebody. Right. And I feel like I'm coming back to the school. I don't know when, but I'm going back to that school.
You're going to pull up.
Somehow. And this thing is going to come full circle.
Okay. So we started cooking now. We made a decision. Look, this is what we're going to do. Period. Okay. This is how I'm going to feed these 3 children. This is how I'm going to put clothes on their back, on my back, put a roof over our head. This is how we're going to do this. How did you start marketing yourself?
I would share videos of people trying my food. Like, I would just take straight testimonials from them. Like, capturing that first bite. Not the 5th bite or 6th bite or ones that was all over like, yo, like, what's that first bite? And they were going crazy. So then people are like, yo, everybody's going crazy over this food. Let me try it because maybe it's not that great. And then they would try it and they would go crazy. And then, so that was my marketing. My marketing was literally just pictures of my food and testimonials of my food. And word got out about me through word of mouth. I was so nervous when I first got started. I was just coming off a divorce and being just not confident. So I called myself Underground Seafood. I wanted to lay low.
Is that still, that's still the name?
It's still the
name.
It
is the name, yeah.
Underground Seafood.
It is.
I wanted to, I wanted to lay low. I didn't really want people to know me, but at the same time, I want to feed you. I want to give you this great product, but you don't got to know me. But eat my food though, and let me record you eating my food.
So okay, let me take a step back. Okay. Not only did you get kicked out of nursing school, you say you were going through a divorce, or you went through a divorce. All of that finalized around the same time.
The year. Well, I got divorced in 2019. Okay. And by then, I had already started practicing different recipes. And was that the dog? Yeah. I started practicing.
Sorry, guys. My dog. He's not even supposed to be in here, but he naturally really lets him,
helps him. He frees himself.
He's about to get kicked out. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's all good. So, 2019, I started practicing recipes. And by 2020, I was so into practicing this food over and over again that my family looked at me and they're like, lobster again? Right. And I was like, you don't want this lobster? And they were like, no, can we get a hamburger? Can we get a hot dog? So I was like, somebody wants this food. So like the next day, I was like, hey, if I put up this food for sale, would anybody buy a plate for me? And they were like, yeah, we'll buy a plate. And literally that next day, I sold 10 plates. And that's just how I got started.
Right. Yeah. Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Whew, that's the ugly truth there. Okay.
Very.
So, boom. Divorce. Kicked out of nursing school. Yet, we're going to become a chef. Underground Seafood, right? How do we get to the part to where... Because you've been featured on some shows in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Atlanta. So you grew your base here in the DMV.
Yes.
And then word of mouth took you to Atlanta.
Yeah, so and not just here in the DMV. When I was, I'm cooking out of my parents' home. So people are coming from Delaware, Philadelphia, West Virginia, Virginia. They're coming up from Bowie. They're coming from everywhere to catch one of my pop-ups. I have a friend who is amazing, and she's like, "You're gonna be a star. Let's just start doing your PR." So I'm like, perfect. Her name is Anissa King with PR Redefined. And she got me on TV in Atlanta and in the radio. And then when I came back to Maryland, some of the people that I went to school with, Benita Frazier, she works for DCW 50. And then I had cooked for Cindy's. Actually, I cook for Cindy and her family. So her sister is Tiffany, and Tiffany works for Be More Lifestyle. So Tiffany reached out to me to go on Be More Lifestyle. So it's like who you know, and then when people see you moving, they'll reach out to you as well.
Right. Yeah. That's dope, man. I it's crazy how just if you keep your head down and focused on what it is that you're doing, as long as you're doing something that's positive and doing something that creates a huge impact, like people find you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
They will find you.
They'll find you. So, okay. They will find you. Atlanta, you done been on TV in Atlanta. You've been on TV in Baltimore area. So here's the thing. I've made this very clear before. Baltimore and PG County are two totally separate entities of Maryland. Okay? If you're like out of town and someone says you're from Maryland and they be like, oh, Baltimore, but they're from PG, you've pretty much committed a crime. Just to make it clear. Okay? It's just a thing. Right? It's a real thing. I'm just letting y'all know. All right, so now you start your social media and I realize you're at like 40K. Like 40,000 followers or something like that.
41.1.
So 41.1
on Sunday
since I looked last week.
Yes, since last week. He's saying. Let me tell you. So I think I started my page over in 2020.
Why'd you start over?
I think I got a page in 2019. I got an Instagram page. And then I was like, you know, you meet some people, you add certain things on there, you embarrass yourself. I'm like, delete this. Let me start a fresh one where I'm not embarrassed. And
said you get on there, you embarrass yourself.
Yeah, you know,
I've had to delete some posts
out
before.
Yeah, exactly. You're out and you're like, oh yeah, let's share Instagrams. You know what? Don't ever find me. And I'm starting over. I'm starting fresh.
Right.
So I think I was at maybe like 1,000 or 2,000, and I was doing these brunches, and it was like everyone kind of knew about me in the area because people were calling me like, "Yo, you're kind of famous." I'm like, "Why you say I'm famous?" Because such and such said they heard about you cooking, and do you know this person? I mean, my phone was kind of going crazy, but I didn't have them on my page. Nobody was following me yet. I was doing these watermelon cakes at my brunches. So I started with like this fruit display that was so beautiful, but I always
because I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie. I found you scrolling on someone else's page, and I saw the fruit display.
You saw the fruit
cake. So then I was like, okay, I'm about to tag and see who did this.
Yeah. So I have this idea that you can, and I don't know who I stole it from, Eric Thomas or somebody, Les Brown. You can always better your best. So every event I do, I'm like, how can I make my next event better? So I already had a beautiful fruit display. Just loved it. Everyone loved it. How can I make something that's good? How can I make it great? So I saw, you know, the watermelon cake, and I was like, look, I literally bought one and started practicing doing it. And I started doing it at all of my brunches for free. I just added it to the brunch for free. You know, no one was asking me for it. No one even knew about it, you know, but when they saw it, they loved it.
Right.
And after a couple months of that, one of my, I think I was at maybe like 3,000. I was with comedian Tim Shropshire, and like, where was I at? I just saw him in North Carolina. And I was like, man, my page is going up. And I'm like, did you post a video of me or something? Like, I'm getting all these followers. I just hit 4,000 followers. And I told him if I hit 4,000 followers, I was going to cry. And when he told me, he's like, don't cry at 4,000, cry at 10,000. So he's like, no, I didn't do anything. And then like maybe 2 weeks later, I hit like 10,000.
Did you cry?
And I called him. I think I really did probably cry at 4. Because I felt like as a chef, all you need is like 5,000 on Instagram. And you're verified, basically.
Right.
So I called him. I was like, you told me not to cry at 4. And you told me to cry when I hit 10. I just hit 10. So I had to go through my page to figure out what it was. My watermelon cake had went viral.
Oh.
That video as of right now, it has like 4.4 million views.
That's like all of my views added together. That's dope.
And that was one video. And then after that, it's just a couple other things. You know, after being on my page for like a month, maybe another video will just kind of go viral. But nothing like that watermelon display. Nothing like that watermelon display.
We're going to put a link in the description so that y'all can see this watermelon display. Okay. I'm going to, and if you go and you look at the page and you make a comment, just say Kel sent me. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me know.
Man.
You come to my page.
I need to see what's up with this watermelon cake. I don't feel like I saw the fruit display one. I don't think I saw the watermelon one.
Oh, really? Yeah, I cut it into a circle, and everybody they.
How do you? Okay, so but you've never been to culinary school, right? Have you?
Never.
So how did you do that? YouTube?
Yeah, you can watch YouTube. YouTube has everything.
YouTube
and
University.
Then, a lot of times it's not so much, who taught you how to do something? I want to add in a bit of creativity, but you have to pick it up and you have to go do it and see what it looks like for yourself.
Oh, you have to do it ugly.
Yes. Oh. So pick it up and figure it out.
No matter what it looks like.
Yeah, figure it out. Even now, when I do a watermelon cake at a brunch or a dinner, they don't ask me, oh, what is it going to look like? They say, hey, do your thing.
Enjoy.
And I literally make them different every time.
I feel like cooking is like, because it's kind of like that. Like when I get my nails done, my nail tech will be like, "Okay, Kel, what do you want to get done?" I'm like, "Yo, just do what you want to do," because I feel like it's a form of art, and that's your art. You know what I mean? Unless I have to tone it down for something other than that, do what you want to do. But I do believe that cooking is an art, and so it's what you feel. You know what I mean? So okay, so now. Where do you want to go? Hold on. Next question. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take that one. I'm going to ask that one, but I'm gonna take it back. Who is the most famous or the biggest celebrity you've cooked for?
The one that everyone would probably know. So you know Sesame Street, right?
Yeah, Elmo.
Everybody knows Elmo. I was cooking in